I think we can now begin this session. A very warm welcome to everybody to this interactive session which we are holding for the United Nations, and we have worded it as the United Nations at 80, Promises and Performance. Now, after the devastation of the Second World War, the countries, especially the major countries of the world, found it prudent or convenient to establish an institution, an intergovernmental institution, which will ensure, or which would ensure, that there would be no more wars, no more destruction. However, that is not how it turned out, because, as we know, even today, there is a terrible, horrifying war going on in Palestine, specifically in Gaza, the likes of which we haven't seen in a century. The impunity of it and the pity of it all. So while the United Nations did not manage to procure peace, and the more powerful, especially militarily powerful countries, dominated the less powerful and the poorer countries of the world, the United Nations does have to its credit a lot of humanitarian work, welfare activities. जब भी कहीं क़यामत आई या मुश्किल आई तो उन्होंने वहाँ रसद पहुँचाई. They also have a very active section on women. It is called UN Women, and they have done a great deal to advance the rights of the women of the world. Now, the person who is going to host or going to lead the interactive session is Professor Shaista Tabassum. Where are you? She is a distinguished professor of the University of Karachi, my alma mater. And she has done a lot of work on the United Nations. So, Shaista, I would like you please to introduce yourself, because you will do it better than I can. And also say a few words, about a few minutes, about the UN and your work on the UN. And then you can ask the young people to start their presentations.
All right. Thank you very much, madam. And it's a privilege to be here. And I'm really thankful that you have given me this opportunity of leading this interactive session. I can see some known faces here as well. So hello to everyone who knows me and I know them. I've been really not directly involved, but I have worked with the United Nations Environmental Program. So I receive a fellowship on a project of the United Nations Environmental Program along with the Woodrow Wilson Center. This was my first interaction with the UN. And that report was later on published. One more project which I achieved, or rather a fellowship, it was the United Nations Fellowship on International Law. So I went to The Hague and the Hague Academy of Law, and that fellowship was also a long period over there, so at The Hague. So one of my area of studies and research is actually international law, along with the regional studies and other aspects of international relations. And today I have some very small presentation, rather points which I have noted, but if you, the program format is that I should ask the young people to give presentation, then I'll say something about the UN. But the problem with the United Nations is that it has inherited all the failures of the league system, this is what most of the people believe, that it had not given or the work has not been done to uh, consider the failure, the flaws of the League of Nations. Only the system has been changed. But there are some vagueness, ambiguities that have been left in the charter, which I will be talking about in the later phase. And that actually has affected overall on the international system which is present, which is with which we are experiencing the use of force, the abuse of the force, and the extension of state power. And number of the challenges that have been United Nations dealt are actually related to the refugee problem, let's say, the peacekeeping missions, peacekeeping forces. But the failures are more than the successes. So that is why critical analysis of United Nations functioning and structure is required to be done in a much more research and deep manner. So I think that I should ask the people who are here to give their